What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm Envy.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Siesta Key Season 3, Episode 2. And it's called New Man. Who dis?
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending because we are going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our MVPs, and we got some goodies this week.
Yeah. And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get into the episode, y'all.
Oh, let's get right into it. This one was This one was good. I was like, ooh, I'm excited.
It was great.
Like, I'm lit for this season.
Hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing.
And just like overall, I feel like they're so bougie now because like they actually have money. So like their party's like really lit. Like everyone's so nicely like dressed. You know, everyone's got their hair did.
This, just to kind of the overall thing is, this is all leading up to Kelsey and Juliet are throwing a housewarming party. But before that all happens, we start right off with covering off what had happened at Juliet's graduation party last episode. So it's the boys, and by the boys I mean it's Jared, Brandon, and who else is there? There's somebody else there.
Garrett.
I don't remember who else. Oh yeah, they're all just hanging out, like playing pool or whatever. And then Ish is talking to Madison on like another scene. So this part was pretty funny. What do you think about this part?
Yeah, it was. They were like just boys being boys, like joking and making fun of Ish, basically, and like
fully making fun of Ish, calling him like old man time, and like, and then it's just funny because like on the other side of it, Ish said something funny that I was like kind of giggling at because he's like, Brandon was a little aggro, and I'm like, I don't think
I'm
people,
like, who said?
Do people still
say? I was like, what the F is aggro?
Like, so it was just funny kind of hearing both sides. But yeah, Ish obviously sounded so much more calm and chill. Brandon's clearly still very butthurt and very frustrated about the situation.
I think, and like we hear this later on in the episode, but I think Brandon was more confused in terms of like timelines and like how it all went down. And like when Matt started seeing this guy, I think he was more hurt about that. Like, right. Like, how did this all happen? And when was I still in the picture at that time? At that point in time,
yeah. And yeah, this is when Madison basically says, like, I have to talk to Brandon to really just clear the air. I don't like how it all ended off. And it's just like, yeah, you should go do that. So we'll talk about it in a second. But before that, quickly it cuts to Juliet and Robbie, and the topic of conversation is Chloe and how she's a shady biatch now. And basically Robbie is now kind of like, he's trying to persuade Juliet to think that Chloe is not a good friend and she's doing shady shit behind her back to kind of piss off Juliet, right? Yeah. Like that's the conversation they have.
Yeah, and it's just like other like bullshit combos, like how many likes did you get on your post? And
he said that on the show.
God, Are
you serious?
Yeah, because she posted the photo of him and her, and it was like official, and that's where she's like, I was gonna caption it "New Boy Who Dis," and he was like, "Oh my God, why didn't you? That's such a good caption. It's so savage."
I must have missed that.
And then she's like, no, she's like, I didn't want to make it look like it was about Alex. I was like, oh my God. And then he's like, how many likes did you get? And she's like, 117,000. He's like, oh my God. He's like, good for you.
Ew.
Yeah, like it was disgusting. It made my stomach turn. I was like, and then she's like, and how many shares I got? I'm like, what the fuck are shares? like he's like, how many shares? He's getting horny on like her social media numbers.
He's so disgusting. He's so 2019. Like, can I say that yet?
Not
like,
even 2019. He's like 2016.
Like, go away.
Like, and then guys, wait, this is my favorite part. He's like, I've never felt like this about anyone. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, the last time I felt this way was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, what?
On the Bachelorette.
And I'm like, what was 3 years ago? Like, I'm saying it to myself. I'm like, what was 3 years ago? Like, he had a girl. And then it cuts to like the scene of him on the Bachelorette and how he got rejected. Like, she's like, oh yeah. She's like, you were on that show? And he's like, yeah, like I love JoJo. But like, I'm like, stop. Stop me living your like 20 minutes, your 10 seconds. Like, you're disgusting.
Envy's over you.
Oh, he makes my stomach turn. Like, and the fact that these girls book him, I love it. Like, I just love that we're on the same page with them. So
I know. Thank God. I feel like if not, then people would be so annoyed by us because
can you imagine if Chloe was like his favorite person? She was like, oh my God, Robbie's amazing. Robbie's
I'd be like,
he buys us
everybody's
drinks.
Fucked. Yeah. And like we'd both be like, are we crazy?
Like, I quit.
Because right away, I was like, he's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Fucking creepy.
Anyway,
lot to say about Robbie. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Moving on. This is a big moment of the episode.
Yeah.
Madison
really
decides as well that not only does she need to talk to Brandon, but she also needs to talk to her papa, her real daddy.
Her real daddy, not the boyfriend daddy.
Not the boyfriend daddy. And she wants to introduce Ish to him, and kind of, I don't think she sets out to get his blessing, but she
that's
does
why
want
you're
to
going
expose,
to meet your dad. Like that is why you're doing that. You are obviously trying to get his blessing, and her dad fully says that, because she says like, I'm not putting any like pressure, and he's like, but you are, because you're bringing your boyfriend to me, and we're meeting for lunch, and like you want to see what I'm gonna say, and you want my blessing.
This is what you wanted, yeah.
And I do have to say, like, Ish was really cool in that situation, and he was really like respectful, and he was like, look, like, I get it, like, I'm older, like, you know, whatever, but we like each other. Like, he was trying to play it cool, and I did respect that. But her dad was like not having it. He was like, do you know how old you are?
At all.
Do you know how old she is?
He was like, first of all, how old are you? Second of all, how old is she?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm 64. You're closer to my age, and she's closer to yours.
And I could feel Madison's like anxiety. Like, I could see it on her face. Like, girl. I wanted to yak for her. Like, and it's just like, it didn't go well. And he's like, you're asking for my blessing. He's like, I'm not going to give it. He's like, I think you're too young. Like, you should be out partying and like being independent and like doing your own thing. Like, not tied down to this like older.
Well, he doesn't even say it to her. He says it to Ish. He's like,
True.
You're the adult. You should understand where she's coming from. And like, he really puts it a lot. He puts a lot of that on Ish, I think, in the conversation. He tries to leave Madison out of it for the most part, to be like, girl, you crazy. But then also like, he turns to Ish and he's like, yo, what's your problem hanging out with a 26-year-old? Like, are you fucked? Like,
but also to her, I think he does say like, what did you think? He's like, what did you think I was going to say?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I understand the positions, like everything in this story. Like, what did you think of this whole, how it all went down?
This is my opinion. And like, you know, my dad is pretty like, you know, old fashioned. So like, I'm going off of what like my experience has been in all that situation.
Sure.
I think that her dad should respect who she's dating. I think he should not, age is like nothing to do with it. He's not like 85, like dying. He's like 40, like whatever. What's the big deal? Let her have fun. But do you have to introduce your boyfriend to your dad at this time? Like, they've only been together at this point for like 2-3 months, maybe 5. Like, why don't you guys date for a year? Why don't you date for a couple, you know, a year or two?
A year?
And then when you guys are serious, when you're like legit, be like, okay, I want you to meet my dad. But like, they were still so like new at this point. So to get your dad involved in that situation so early on, and then to want his blessing and need his blessing too, like, I don't know. If I was her, I would have waited.
So I agree with you in some regards. The regard that I don't necessarily agree is like, I think that I would flip it. I would be like, you know, of course he has the right to be upset and not okay with it, but was she wrong in getting him this early on? I don't necessarily think so. I think that it's important to, and this is just our, like, obviously just both of our opinions. I feel like we've talked about this offline, but it's like, my opinion is like, why wouldn't you want to know right away? I need to, you know, I'm sharing my experience. There's nothing about hiding that experience.
Like, what
you know
are
what I mean?
Knowing?
If he was normal, like normal age, and there was no other concern outside of the obvious, wouldn't you introduce your dad at that time, or your boyfriend at that time?
Because I need to know if this guy is like the guy that I'm gonna like be for real serious with before I go and introduce him. Like, at the end of the day, like, you are going to get his approval. There's no other reason. Because like, if you didn't give a shit, you wouldn't take him to your dad just yet. Like, you're still looking for some sort of approval and a nod and a blessing. And I don't know if she should have expected that going into
I don't know. I don't know if she expected it. I mean, if she did, that was a little foolish on her side. And I think that it did kind of show that she was a little upset about it kind of like, you know, like it's almost like a child not getting what they want. Like, let's be real. Not being said, I know that our parents do that to us. Like, we turn into kids again whenever we confront them. And I think that her just being like, all I wanted was my dad's blessing is like just what any kid would want from their parent, like his acceptance and everything that everything that you obviously want from your parent.
I think if the circumstance was different, I think if they had been dating for a year or two, fully serious, and then her dad still was like, no, I don't respect this, then if I was her, I'd be cheesy, like, bro, like I put the time in, like we've been together, we've gone through shit together, like respect my man. But I feel like they haven't like gone there yet, or been
That's
through that
fair.
enough.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But I think what speaks more than anything, I think, is the way Ish handled it all. And I think like to see him in that situation and to see him so respectful and like to even be like, yeah, I'll come to Siesta, I'll meet your parents. Like that shows a lot. Like that shows that he really does love her and like care for her. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't fucking do that. So if anything, what she took out of the situation was just like knowing that Ish, like clearly his intentions are good and like he does care about her.
For sure. I think that, no, I mean, we can talk about them a little bit later as well, but it's mostly just like, yeah, I'm happy for them.
I'm like,
I hope
big
that
ups
they
to her
work
for
out.
showing that scene on camera. Like, I would have been
Yeah,
shitting. Like,
huge.
it's a lot. It's too much
That's huge.
anxiety.
And I think that like, but I think it's a great thing to see. I think that like these relationships always come up and it doesn't necessarily have to be like an older guy and a younger girl or whatever the situation might be. But like that confrontation with your parent is so intense. People get so nervous. Like that confrontation is so nerve wracking for so many people that watching it on camera was kind of cool because I was like, I don't think I've been in this, like, to be completely honest and candid, I've been in a situation like specifically like that. Older guy, younger me, and I didn't talk to my parents about it because I was very embarrassed about it. So for her to kind of go in, I'm like, I personally, I think, took away a little bit more than a normal viewer would, just because I was like, personal. But anyway.
But I just didn't expect him to act, because the fact that they showed it on camera, I was like, oh, he must be cool with it. Like that's why they're showing this scene and like it's been edited. But for him at the end to be like, I don't I don't give my blessing, I was like, oh shit, like I didn't think it was gonna go there.
That was serious. Anyway. Let's move on. I was like, the first one I really quickly want to talk about, Amanda and Brandon. So we'll just blast through because we took some time on those things. But Amanda and Brandon have a quick like convo.
Yeah, I mean, like Amanda, like I do like her in this season and I do love her with BG, but like she was not lit like this entire time. Like this girl didn't even want to be on the show. She thought she was way too good for everyone. And now she's all up in here being like, wait, don't forget about me.
she's jokes though. She has been there. Like, let's remember, she's been a side around. King, though.
She's been a
side king. She wasn't really around the second half of season 2, a lot. Or no, the second half of season 1. Sorry, when it came back from like the jump or whatever.
When she punched Chloe, she wasn't really in it, right?
No, when she punched Chloe, she was in it because you see her like getting her nails did. That's why we made fun of her tattoo that one time.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about it. We're getting so off topic. Amanda and Brandon have a quick like convo. He's like trying to hit on her, trying to like see what she's up to for the party.
I was down for that.
You like them, right?
Because I feel like they're more like they're like lit together. They drink, they party, they're a good time. Like I feel like they can be a good time together. And like I didn't even know that they had a thing in season 1, kind of like
way back. I think it was like 1 episode or something, like half an episode. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're both out there ready to have a good time. Brandon talks this game as if he wants to like lock down a girl, and he's like, I need a girl and I need a girl. Like, you don't need a girl and you don't want a girl. You want to fuck around, so just make it that.
And cool. I think she's the perfect girl to do that with. Like, I think they're perfect.
If he came correct, I think that she totally sees through all of his bullshit. I think she like knows he's phony. So like until he steps up and is like, yep, that's all I really want, then she'll be like, all right, chill, let's do it. You know, so whatever. They have like some scenes later on. But moving on to Juliet and Kelsey living together, this is just a really quick scene. Did you ever expect these two issues to get together after all the fucking drama that they've been through?
Definitely not. They don't even go together. Like they even like at the party, I was like, this seems fake. Like they're very off in terms of their personalities, in terms of like they're just their ages. Like Juliet's very like immature. Kelsey seems a little bit more like put together. I don't know. It just seemed very off to me. I was like, was there no other pairing to like roommate with? It was like weird.
I don't know. A part of me is kind of like, I couldn't understand why not. I mean, a lot of the time when you hate on someone that much as Juliet hated Kelsey, it's because they see a little bit of themselves in them, right? So like, I could see why it ends up this way. It ended up this way, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I do agree. Like, where is their chemistry? Like, realistically,
yeah, and I'm sure it's because of the show. Like they all kind of came back to Siesta to film the show, so maybe it was just like logistics. Like, let's just rent this because we're
probably like a temp house too. Like they feel like they have new roommates every single season. But cutting to Brandon and Madison having their convo on the beach or wherever. I forget where it was. I feel like they're always on a beach having conversations, so that's what I'm assuming. But Madison and Brandon sit down and talk, and this scene was crazy because Brandon went in on Madison. I want to know your perspective of it because I want to say how I felt about the scene.
So why don't you go ahead first?
Okay, the first thing that I will say is while Brandon is completely valid in his frustrations, confusion, just the way this all broke down, the first thing is he should know better than to yell in a girl's face the way that he does, knowing that 100% the producer said, you are not allowed to talk to anybody about this fucking thing until we start filming. Okay? Like, he should know better than to blame someone that harshly on camera and embarrass her the way that he did. I just was very disappointed in him as a person to go in on Madison the way that he did and the way that it was edited, I guess, in the show. Like, you don't see her come back and like defend herself. If anything, she's completely apologetic. And it was so infuriating to watch because I'm like, girl, you have nothing to apologize for. You're living your life. You have no reason to turn around and be like, I'm sorry, let me coddle your fucking feelings while you make me feel like shit. Like, I just got very upset about it. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I'm going to get upset again. But what did you think about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really take that. I didn't take it that way at all.
You're like, I did not.
For once.
You're like, I did not see any of that.
No, because I think like for once, I think his concerns were a little valid in the sense that like, again, like he was wondering about timelines. He was wondering if like she cheated on him. Because we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened after the season finale of like last season. So we don't know like how far into it they went. Having said that, he cheated on her. Like, who knows? He just was curious. Like, bro, like, when did you start talking to this guy? When did you guys become official? Like, when did you guys like? He just needed to know. I guess it's not his right to know that. It's not his right. But then she shouldn't go meet him. You don't owe him anything. You don't even owe him to go and talk to him. So then don't.
Yeah. But at the same time, in her defense, when she said it, he's like, "You're lying. You're lying to me. You're lying to me." Like. Yeah, if you don't trust her and don't believe her, then
like it's also like he's trying to be like extra.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't put her through that because she actually does feel like you're attacking her. You know what I mean?
The way he acted
fair.
After, like he seemed way over it. Like by the next scene, he was like having a good time with Amanda. He was getting lit. So I really feel like this scene was like they act him to like add the drama to that moment. Because after that, I was like, they barely even like have anything. Like he gives no fucks. Like he's back to like being his, regular self. So I don't know how much he actually really cared and how much of it was like a show.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate seeing Madison looking so like she like absorbs all this like fucking pain all the time from people, and it's just like hard to watch sometimes. More heartbreak is on the way as we continue our conversations of really sad shit. Kara and Garrett are no longer together.
Taking a break.
So this was a big conversation, and it was kind of a shocking one for me, at least. What did you think?
I'm not that surprised. Like last week's episode, they were pretty much like donezo anyways. But to me, it was kind of surprising how like at the end, Kara was like, oh, so like we can sleep with other people or like we can't? And he's like, huh? I was like, yeah. Does she have someone else like lined up? Like you would only say that if like you had your eye on someone else. So here's my thing. And that's exactly what I was going to say to you was, yeah, fine. You guys were totally on the rocks. You guys definitely need to go. I was completely flabbergasted as to why. I mean, watching it back now, I'm like, totally makes sense. But before, when I was watching, I was like,
Kara's the one that wants to go around and dick around. Like, girl, what? I was not expecting that from her. And I didn't think that they were going to follow through with it in terms of the conversation they end up having about him calling her out and being like, oh, you just want to hook up with people? And she's like, she can't even answer him because she's like, she does feel that way. So I was like, God damn, this took a turn.
Like, I thought they were really cute together. I wanted them to win. Too. I felt like she spent more time thinking about all the things that they are different on. And like she should have been, you know, like I feel like she always says like, we're so different, we're not the same. But like you guys were so effing cute together. Like who cares if you're not the same? You can still make it work. I just feel like he just didn't put in the effort, and he's an idiot. Like he's a dumbass sometimes, and that can really hurt someone. Really know. And like you can't recover from that, you know?
Exactly. And I think that there's a lot of things that both of them harbor. Both of them have a lot of growing to do for sure. But I thought that they were really cute together as well. And the one thing that I think that we've noticed about Kara, we love her because she's a bitch, but she's also someone who is extremely insecure. We saw her fucking freak out when he tried to touch her or like squeezed her thigh, you know, like something loving turned into something negative. Like, you know, we know that it's in her to feel that insecurity. So all it would take is for, you know, her to think that he's like doesn't want to do something, for her to just like go the opposite direction, is like, I want to hook up with other people. I don't think that I want this, but I do want it. Because, you know, the thing that really got me, it was at the very end when Garrett tells Juliet that, oh, we're just like holding on to each, like, you know, we're just taking a break. And then Juliet's like, don't do that. You guys need to break, like finish it now. Yeah. And then it cuts to Kara, and Kara literally admits, she's like, poor Garrett, I just like don't know how to let him go, but like I want to keep him. Like she literally admits to stringing him along.
That was like crazy to see her say those things. I was like, wow.
And that's the thing. And I'm like, I get it, but it's because you're insecure. You don't know how to be secure in yourself, so you want to hold on to all of your eggs in the same bat, like hold up all these things, and that's just like how it's like going down. But yeah, I was kind of sad about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Carrot is no more. Then there's a really quick scene of Ish leaving for Canada. Shout out to Canada.
Yeah.
And
he was gone. He was going for like 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. And she's like, it was really sad. She was like, so I'm never going to see you until like 6 months out. Like, what? And then she was like, really, it was a sad goodbye.
It was really sad, yeah.
But he's gone now. So she's just going to have to deal with her Ish solo. Now the housewarming.
Let's get into the housewarming.
Let's talk about this housewarming. Yeah. The first note that I made, and it was because it was the one that like was a big fat red exclamation point on the screen when I watched it, was everybody's coming in really quickly. Everybody's coming in with like little gifts, you know, like, oh, I got you like
a flower or like, hey, like a cute little picture frame,
a bottle of alcohol, like for the house, you know, whatever. Robbie comes in with a motherfucking
like
65-inch motherfucking TV. Like, bro, what are you doing?
First of all, who was the person helping him carry this thing? Like, I felt so fucking bad for that guy. But he looked like, so extra. Like, guys, first of all, he comes like late to the party. Like, everyone's already there. He's like, I got you a TV.
It's here with a TV, guys. Just like, don't worry about it. Like, just like, don't mind me. I'm just gonna put this gigantic TV down. He is the weird. I don't even want to say weirdest. I just want to say like the biggest loser I've ever seen on television.
So what does Chloe say to that?
So Chloe, she literally took the words out of my mouth, because as he brought the TV in, she's like, he's just making up for his small penis. Like, yeah, like, you know how people drive like fancy cars? Like, it's the same idea.
We didn't talk about this last week, but there was also a scene last episode where I don't know who it was, but they asked Julia, they're like, so is like the sex better with him than like Alex? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, guys, you don't need to, like, she's not going to admit, obviously she's going to say, yeah. She's not going to say, she says no, it's better, Alex was better. Like obviously.
No, she ends up saying like, Robbie's better.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
It's ridiculous.
Like, no, not necessary. Like he probably like recorded that scene and like he has it as like his screensaver.
But whether or not his penis is big or small, but like he's a sociopath. Like he's a fucking weirdo.
Like it's insane.
His vibes like, gross me out.
Guys, and I'm not even being like I'm sure the first defense, like if he ever listens to this podcast, he's gonna be like, oh, they're just fucking jealous because like they don't have the money that I have to like bring a TV to my girl's place. No problem with that at all. what a generous person, but a real generous, genuine person, like a real human being would be like, Juliet, like, let's set a date for next week and then maybe surprise her. Maybe like close her eyes and open her eyes and like the TV's already mounted on the wall because you got it as a surprise just for her to see as a special thing that he's doing for her. Nope. You're going to walk in like a fucking douchebag with a gigantic TV that you need someone else to help you carry it in.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. Like, get out of here. You're trash.
Trash. Okay, so what else happens at this party?
I also just observed, this is just me an observation. I know that you have like a mini crush on Brandon, but like really he does not rub me the right way at any form. Brandon's just like talking. I think he's talking to Jared and he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like go for Amanda. Like I think that like that's the thing I'm gonna do now. And I'm just like, I wrote down a note that literally said, Brandon will never have game. To me. Like
I don't agree with that. Can't. I think he has game with certain girls. I'm not saying I'm crushing on him.
Working, obviously.
He definitely has his way with certain girls. I mean, he's not a bad looking guy. He's just like he's just like extra sometimes, and I think he tries too hard.
He's extra.
But I did appreciate his like cute little like rap sessions this episode. He was really cute. He was like rhyming everything. I was like, oh, I'm like, you're getting like your words are getting better since season 1 and 2.
Anyway, so Brandon's doing that. And then Jared and Kelsey connect again. What did you think of this?
I like this. It was cute. He is so cute. Like, I love him. He's never in the drama. He's always like on the side, like just cracking jokes, having a good time. And we saw him like try to get onto Kelsey last season. It didn't work because she was with that guy.
I mean, they kissed.
But like she was like, no, I don't do that. And he's like, but you did. So
but you did. She's like, no, I didn't.
I love how he lurks in this episode and he's like, do you want to go like racing and get like muddy and dirty? And she's like, okay. Like, I feel like they're really gonna be cute together, or like they can be cute together.
Listen, we there's no mention of her fake boyfriend that she had last
they're
season.
Gone. Yeah, he's donezo.
So I'm assuming that they're not together anymore, which I'm like, okay, finally Kelsey is single and she's out here having a good time.
I love when a guy is persistent,
like a proper person would.
Because that shows me that his ego didn't get in the way. And he tried last year, it didn't work. He got like, they embarrassed him. They were like, she's with someone else and I don't want you. But again, this season, he's like, no, he's like, I'm going to try again. And like, he goes in, he like tries to be all cute and funny and it works. So I respect that.
Yeah. Mad respect, Jared from NB. Okay. This is the scene that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Juliet and Chloe have a moment.
How does this all start? So like it kind of all starts like they're in like a fucking like conference room style like seating like arrangements like in front of each other.
So yeah, their place isn't like terribly large. It's like one kitchen and then one living room. But everybody's basically congregated around the kitchen, living room, whatever. And they're talking. And Chloe says something along the lines of just being used, or like Juliet being used by people, and she's just maybe talking shit about the relationship, something. And I think it was like a video edit, like it was an actual edit, but it showed like Juliet being like, what did you say about me?
Yeah.
And then the next scene is her like pulling her outside and being like, can we go sit down and let's go talk outside? So they go and sit down and they talk outside.
Like chair to chair, face to face. Yes.
And first of all, Juliet is like drunk off her ass. Like she's slurring every word and she's like, so why are you mad at me or what? Like she just is speaking as if like she's completely drunk. So already I'm like, shit's about to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're talking and Juliet's going
fine. Like everything was going great. Like Chloe was like, I'm like your big sister. You hurt my feelings. Yeah. I take care of you. I don't take care of anyone else. Like I see you as my younger sister. I'm like, okay, like this is cute. Like she's really trying to like, you know, tell her how she feels. She's like, but you don't like ever call me. She's like, you're not a real friend. And Juliet's like, what? Why would I have to call you?
That's what I'm trying to say. She was so drunk that like the conversation was not like the best time to do it. Like while she's drunk.
Like, why would I have to call you when you're the girl that is friends with my ex-boyfriend? And Chloe's like, okay, but like that was like before though. Like I'm just saying now when I'm your friend, you're not calling me. She's like, why? Like, like she just wasn't getting it. She wasn't getting it, and like her only go-to response was to pull Chloe's hair. Like she can't even like she doesn't have the vocabulary to like keep the combo going. She just like yanks.
She's like rage.
Yeah.
Just like animal rage. So first of all, she clocks her. She not only does she pull her hair, she elbows her or like punches her in the back of her head. And it looked pretty intense. Like the way it was shot, it was super, super close up. It's so fucking chaotic. And then she starts yanking on her weave. we get a weave snatch. It was
and like I think
the best television.
It cuts to like
life.
the inside, and someone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's pulling on her weave. She's pulling on her weave."
Yeah, it was like Madison. It was like Madison or Amanda. She was like, they were like literally ducking and hiding for like their lives. It
so
was
what
just
did you
an
think? Did you
amazing
think it was a
moment
real scene or like a fake dramatized?
I do think it's a real scene only because it just escalated to a point where like violence was taken.
And I feel like you spend so much money doing your weave hair, so like I feel like you wouldn't like if we tried to fake it out.
Sacrifice
I wouldn't sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'd be like, girl, grab my like jacket or like grab my hand or something. Like, don't pull on my $200 like extensions right now. You know.
Also, like. It was just like one of those moments where I was like, of course it's gonna escalate.
But also, what were they even fighting about? I forgot what the fight was about.
But that's what I'm trying to say. First of all, Chloe is confusing the fuck out of Juliet by saying like, we're not talking about my friendship with what's his face, like Alex. We're talking about our relationship and how it's like falling apart. And Juliet just keeps going back to that whole thing, like kind of jabbing at her. And that's when Chloe's like, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So Chloe's already agitated. Juliet, like the one thing that I will say is if Juliet didn't swing at her, Chloe would have swung at her. Like, she was just waiting for a moment. Like they were getting so agitated with each other that it was just getting to that point.
And then like Juliet's like so drunk too. So like there is just no.
That's what I'm saying. She was fucked. Yeah. Like she wasn't meant to be.
So what happens? So Chloe gets kind of pulled into the living room. They kind of like push her in, and then Amanda takes over and tries to calm down Juliet.
She fucking MVP of the episode. I'm already giving a spoiler right now. She's the MVP of this fucking scene. I was like dying. She was amazing. She fucking comes in and she's like, to Juliet, she's like, don't you fucking touch her. You have no right to touch her. Because in the promo, the one thing I will say is in the promo, it looked like she was yelling at like she was yelling at Chloe. Like I thought that Chloe was going to go off. I did not think that Juliet was going to be the one to like fucking lose her mind.
Yeah.
So when she was like, don't you dare fucking touch her. Because I don't know where Amanda's head's at. She always thinks Chloe's crazy. Yeah. So like, even though they're friends, she could totally be defending Juliet, especially if Juliet's in the wrong or Juliet's not in the wrong. You know what I mean? Like Chloe can go off her fucking rocker and be like, I'm gonna fucking clock Juliet at her party. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So and then Robbie tries to get involved. He's like, hey, and then Amanda's like, shut the fuck up, Robbie. She's like, stay out of it.
I was dead. That was the best fucking part of this whole show. She was like, get the fuck out of here. I didn't fucking talk to you. I was like, yo. And then Robbie's like, we're like a package deal
he's
now.
Like, sorry,
so
but we're a package deal now. Because I just bought a TV.
And like, you couldn't even step up to Amanda. Like, Amanda called you off so hard because you're a fucking pussy. You're fucking phony. And you really don't know how to stand up for a girl. Like, that's not how you
So then what
that.
Happens? How does it all like sort of... I love how they call Kara. Like Kara's like at home and they have to call her and tell her because she didn't get invited.
Yeah, so Chloe's like, I'm gonna call Kara right now to pick us up. So Kara's like, are you fucking serious? Like Juliet's insane. I'm gonna come pick you up. And then Victoria, this random girl that Kara's brought.
Okay, can we quickly just discuss who the F this girl is? Is it like her bodyguard or something? Like it's like
I don't know
because she doesn't talk that much. So I'm like, is she just? Like,
she doesn't talk that much.
Like why?
No, we were talking about it offline, and I was just saying like how it's probably so annoying for the producers because like Kara decided, she's like, I don't care. I'm not going to be on the show if Victoria's not like chilling with me at all times. And they were like, okay, fine. She can hang out. And Victoria's probably like, yeah, I just want to hang out. I don't want to like do whatever. Like, I don't want to be a part of the storyline. So now they're like annoyingly putting a character into the show that they didn't want to be there. Like, it could have been filled by anybody else. Like, but they have to fill it in with Victoria because like they're friends in real life. Like, it was just so
and like her intro line was like, this is my friend Victoria, we're gonna like stir shit up this season. And I'm like,
how?
really? Like, 'cause she doesn't really talk, so what?
Like, what kind of shit are you stirring?
Like what?
Is it in a library? Because that might work.
So so Chloe and they have to call Kara, and they're like, come pick us up, we just got kicked out, like we got into a fight. She's like, what?
Yeah,
and then she has to explain to Victoria. She's like, oh my god, Victoria, these girls went to this party that I wasn't invited to, and then like she got munched, and Victoria's like, all right, cool. Let's go get them, I guess. Should I not come? Do you need an extra seat? Am I just gonna fill a seat for you? Maybe I should stay home. Like, it was so stupid.
Oh my god. That is so funny.
So like they're basically she's their Uber for this episode.
Yeah, basically. So okay, so let's move on. Because I can laugh for another 10 minutes.
So it cuts back to like the inside of the house.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate Kelsey because this entire time Kelsey's like, guys, what the fuck? Like, she's like, calm down. Like, Kelsey was cheese. She was like, you ruined my fucking basic bitch party, my rosé all day. Like, I was so lit for this day. And she's like, you guys ruined it.
Yeah.
And you guys fought, you're ratchet. So I did like how she was kind of like trying to calm everyone down and be like, get the fuck out of this house. And then on the side, you just see like Juliet like still crying. She's like, I don't know why I can't have friends. And then Robbie's
one thing that annoyed
lurking.
me.
I'm like, ugh.
He was lurking and he was gross. And before like they hug, because like him and Juliet hug at the end and made me want to fucking throw up. But before that, Jared. So as Chloe, the one thing that we forgot to talk about is as Chloe's getting kicked out, Robbie is spending the entire time clapping.
Yeah,
MB, like clapping like a piece of shit loser. Clapping.
Like why? Why are you clapping? Like
Jared.
why?
Okay, listen. God bless Jared. Jared is the most simple, like bro-y guy you'll ever meet. Probably. Like, he seems very simple, which I like, and I think he's like a cool guy, whatever. If Jared can pick up that you're being a piece of shit, then you must be a total piece of shit.
Yeah, because at that point, Robbie's like egging Chloe on and like for them to fight more. And Jared's like, bro, like shut the fuck up. He's like, you're egging them on. He's like, why are you making it worse? And Robbie's like,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. He's like, this is how I react to things.
He's like, isn't this how they do it? Because sociopaths have they don't have real emotions.
Like, he's just such an extra person. He's an oddball. He stands out. He doesn't belong in their crowd.
He's not an oddball.
He's not like,
he's a sociopath.
Yeah, like he's
like literally like
go
dictionary
handle your
sociopath.
girlfriend instead of clapping like a fucking moron.
So he does, but it's
that's
one
even
of the
worse.
most
I don't even know why I asked for that because it was disgusting.
So break this down.
So he hugs her.
So he like comes up
here,
and tries to comfort her.
Come here. And she's like, I don't know why. He's like, oh my
Guys,
god.
just as a really quick moment before you continue, I just love the fact that over 3 seasons, guys, we've been doing this show. After all this time, all we can clock is like how ridiculous Juliet's laugh or cry is, because it sounds actually insane. So she's like,
Anyway, so she's crying and he's like, come here, come, let me hug you like I did JoJo in season 8 of The Bachelorette. Like, come closer. God. He's like, are you okay? She's like, no, I'm really not okay. He's like, I was wrong. She's like, wrong about what? I'm like, what's he gonna say? He's like, I was wrong. Like, I told you last night not to cry, but like you should cry and like get it out. Like, you look so beautiful right now. I'm like, what? She's got snot on her face. Like,
first he says, you're too pretty to cry, to make her stop crying, okay?
And then she doesn't stop.
Who the fuck uses that line?
She's like, but I'm not going to stop crying right now. So then she keeps crying.
And then he's like, I don't know, continuing the conversation with her. And he says, never mind. You're still pretty with those tears. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking throw up like my entire year's worth of lunch.
She's like, am I so pretty?
Am I pretty? Like, I fucking can't. I can't with him, and she makes
and then he's like
even
this.
worse.
And then on top of that, I'm like waiting. I'm waiting for him to like mention Greece. I'm waiting for him to like mention like the next gift that he got this girl. He's like, don't worry. In a couple of days, we're gonna be across the world in Greece. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. He's like at Air Canada Travels. Thank you so much for my vacation. Like that's all that was missing from that fucking line. He's so gross.
So gross. Like
at that point, I just wanted Alex to hug her because I was like, anything is better than this guy. Like anything anyone.
Would be better than this. It literally felt like he was talking from a script. Like I was like, I wrote down the line. Does he still think that he's on the Bachelorette that he has to like speak the way that he spoke? Like he's like, fucking crazy.
I was wrong. And she's like, wrong about what? And he's like, you should cry. Like, who wrote your dialogue, bro? Like, get the fuck out of here.
He literally watched himself say that to JoJo on Bachelorette, and then he recorded it in his mind and did it again. Like,
he just
that's
makes it
literally
about
what
himself.
It feels like.
Even in that moment where she's like crying, he's like, I was wrong. Like, this is how I should have done to like it's always about him. Like, it has to be crazy. Like, you know, he needs to be involved in that situation. Whatever. He's a fucking sociopath. He's weird. She's not with him anymore. So like, thank God.
Yeah. I'm just like, he's crazy.
But yeah.
Anyway, the one thing that I will say that kind of made me really sad was at the end of all of this. And I know you don't agree with me with what happened with Madison and Brandon, but then after watching what happened with Juliet and Robbie in this scene, because at the end of the day, she's like, yeah, you really think that I look pretty? Like, she still caters to his happiness. Of course. And I'm like, these poor fucking girls have been living their entire lives being manipulated by the men in their lives. And it just makes me feel so
But why do they have to be
frustrated.
Like, why are you making them as if like they didn't have a choice to do anything else? Like, they should have the choice to not be manipulated by men in their lives. They should have a choice to like choose someone legit. Like Chloe's boyfriend is legit.
But it's not easy to not be manipulated by men because that's all they fucking do half the time.
I know, but like there's gotta be she's gotta do better. But I get it. Like, she is young. Like, she's young. Not that easy. You know? So like whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She likes the flashy lifestyle. She wants someone rich. That's exactly who he portrays himself to be. It's what you put out. Like, what you want is what you're gonna get.
That's a fair statement.
But whether or not like Brandon was manipulating her in this episode, I didn't get that. I think he's done some shady shit to her in the past for sure. But I really felt like they were both kind of like they already had moved on in this episode, and they were kind of just like recapping what happened when they initially broke
up. He was more like, I don't think he was like trying to manipulate her feelings, but I think that he puts a lot of his own emotion on her without respecting how she's feeling in the situation. You know what I mean? I feel like she had in that situation had to coddle him and make him feel better before she could even make herself feel better. And that's what I get frustrated seeing on television. Like, it's just like, Madison, you don't need to do that.
She doesn't need to. Exactly. Like, she needs to put an end to that and not even go and talk to him. Like, fuck that. Like, don't even go meet him. Like, your life's over. Like, you're with someone else.
Just move on.
You know? So.
Yeah. She's like, the producers are asking me to go see him.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Anyway, so that's the end of the episode. We covered a fucking shitload of shit. That was a great episode, though. I was highly entertained. Let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. I think my best moment is your best moment, so you can go ahead and take it.
So this is when, my best moment is when Amanda goes in on Juliet, telling her that she shouldn't have hit Chloe, and how she like explains the whole situation. The funniest thing that we didn't mention is when she starts yelling at Juliet's like, but you should understand because like you hit her. And then And then Amanda's
like, you can't
yo,
touch
but
her.
she started it.
Yeah.
Like she was the one that started it, so that's why I hit her back.
Which was a good point.
I was like, I would have never.
Good point on Juliet's part.
It was a great
Amanda's
point.
like, you can't touch her, and Juliet's like, why? You did. You fucking broke her nose.
And like all the while, Juliet's like, yeah, you broke her nose. Like in her crying face. Like it's just too much for me. Best moment, and then also for her like shutting Robbie down.
Yeah, that was amazing. And he just like kind of like had to like retreat back. Like he's such a loser.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
A WTF moment, I think it's gonna go to Madison's dad being like, I don't approve of this. You don't have my blessing. Just because I felt like the scene was gonna go one way and it completely went the other way, and I was like, oh shit. Like I felt bad for her and Ish, and I was like, oh god, this is a really brutal scene to like have to rewatch on TV. So yeah, that moment caught me off guard for sure.
My WTF moment's gonna go to Kara breaking up with Garrett, just because and mostly just the end part, the fact that she was the one that was like, so can we hook up with other people? Because I just didn't expect it from her. This episode really changed my views on her a little bit, so I'm a little disappointed in her right now.
Yeah. MVP.
Who's your MVP?
MVP, I'm gonna say the trio. I'm gonna say Amanda. I'm gonna say Brandon, and I'm gonna say Jared, because I feel like these three came to get lit. They came to have a good time. They were all positive polys this episode. Amanda tried to like hold the girls down. You know, BG was like spitting some like cute little like rhymes there and having like everyone was like the trio. They were having a good time, and Jared tried to get it in with Kelsey. Like I was happy for all three of those characters. So yeah,
like everybody's winning. Yeah, that's fair. My MVP is once again going to Amanda.
I just read your description.
And I'm going to say word for word, I choose Amanda for my MVP for shutting down Robbie so hard, his testicles evaporated. Like, he was so emasculated in that moment, and I was dying of laughter.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much, Amanda, for that moment on television. I appreciate it.
LVP.
Who's
my
your LVP?
LVP is gonna go to Robbie. I still don't understand why he's in the show. I don't like him at all. I hate him. I think he's a sociopath. He literally makes my stomach turn. Like, and that's really hard to do because I'm watching this reality show that like doesn't mean anything. But like seeing him on seeing him, I'm like, ugh. Like I can feel the sliminess and like how he dirty. Plans everything. You know, like everything is so calculated.
Yeah, for sure. LVP all the way. But I'm going to give my LVP to Brandon for many things, but mostly for fucking up the rosé vibe with his blue fucking shirt that he wore instead of wearing rosé. I was very disappointed. I thought that you would appreciate that. I was like, MB would not be okay with this.
Well, it was funny because Jared was like, they clearly said pink. Like,
yeah. And I was like, and he's like, what's rosé anyway? And I'm like, bro. Come on.
The best line.
What was your best line?
Best line, I think it's gonna go to that whole scene with like Robbie and Juliet, even though like it gave me the fucking creeps. Him just being like, you're too pretty to cry with those tears. Like, you're so pretty still. Like I was like, oh god, it's so gross.
Like
if that's what romance is, I don't want it. Like, that's disgusting.
Ugh, so gross. My best line is gonna go to Jared in the very beginning when he's playing and hanging out with the guys, and he says, "Old man time" came out of nowhere when he's talking about Ish.
Father time.
And he's just making
he called him father time. That was funny.
I was dying of laughter. That was great. Yeah, just watching that scene was pretty funny, even though it was pretty tight. We have, I think, a few on our Twitter that I want to share really quickly. So we have one from @BeccaSarahCoffee on Twitter saying her MVP was Madison, her LVP was Robbie. Best line is, "It is hard for good guys in Siesta Key," and "Oh, Garrett." And then her WTF moment was the Julia, Chloe, Amanda drama. Her best moment was Julia giving Garrett advice. Why doesn't Ish smile at all? Who is Kara's friend Victoria? Chloe started the fight with Juliet. Who claps when their girlfriend is in a fight. I am for Kelsey and Jared to be together. Lots of big points there. Before we finish off this podcast, I would like to take this time to thank our patrons of the episode. Our Rewinder squad, we got White, Nicole, and Faith. Our Lit Rewinders, Tina Ann, Sarge, Serena, Soleil, Kate, and Jessica. And our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace.
And if you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind exclusive content, and updates.
And make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials as well. Our Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. You can find us out on Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing, following, reviewing. To stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.